Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Connecticut at Your Service, where we highlight individuals that are making a difference in our community through their efforts, through volunteerism, or their work. We celebrate them in such a way that allows us to learn from what they do and how we can engage with that, with that and their services. I can't tell you, just like every episode, I'm so excited to introduce our guest. Her name is Candice Freedenberg, and she is the founder of Untapped Potential. How are you, Candice?
Great, Carmen. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I can't tell you how important this organization is, and how we help women get to their next level and to pivot and to find who they are. Before we start, I start the show the same way. Tell me a little bit about you, what motivates you, and how did you get to Untapped Potential?
Well, a little bit about me. I was a career professional, and then I opted out raising my 3 children. And really, when you think about Untapped Potential, the name Untapped Potential was really crafted for 2 reasons. Number one, to capture that human capital that is women that have been educated, experienced, added value at Fortune 500 companies, and then opted out. We really want to reignite their career and advance business and make them understand how they can add value in the workplace. And at the same time, we look at those women that were moms, and we wanted to return the value to being the parent you want to be and the impact you're having on society by raising really what is that underlying untapped potential of an infant coming into the world and bringing that to fruition.
And what you can teach them and
Yes.
motivate them and have them be change agents and the leaders of the world after. I have to say, a little birdie told me that you have an engineer background. So this
Yes.
was a pivot kind of for you too. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, for sure. I am an optical engineer by education, and worked a number of years in an engineering role in manufacturing, semiconductors, using lasers and optical imaging, machine vision. And then I even started new businesses and got an MBA. So I have the business side and the marketing side, of which I use a lot at Untapped Potential. So really it is a pivot, but I've always been about organizational change. When we launched new technologies and new businesses, both at Eastman Kodak and at IBM, I was really around organizational change. So really, someone coined it, I'm engineering change for women today in today's workplace.
I think that that's amazing. Let me just move this right here. So I love the work that you do, and I just happened to stumble onto Untapped Potential, and I had shared this story with you before, that the work that you do is transformative for women. When women, and I say people now because men are doing it too, but
Right.
specifically women, when they're, and even when COVID happened, and they were talking about that, when they were saying that people had to stay home with their children, they just assumed that it was going to be women. It's like an understood thing that it's women. So when they go back into or thinking about re-entering the workforce, I will tell you, the longer that you're out of work, doesn't matter your social, economic background, the longer that you're out of work, the more the individuals feels like, I don't have any value. I please share your philosophy about how you help women find their next, whatever that is.
Right. Well, we really provide a network of support for women coming back to the workforce. And as you said, Carmen, we've had a male that's taken the backseat to their wife's career. And in every one of our semesters, we work in semesters, and we have a fall cohort and a spring cohort. And every time there's been a male that either launched or attended our speed interviews. So it often is, and we do believe in changing the value of caregiving so that it can have more equity in the home and men participating in it. But how we really get to what is your vision, maybe it's not what you used to do before you opted out, but really we work with our candidates and we have that network of support. So we have mentors that support us and peers that support each other through their journey. So you don't have to go this your own. Everybody, so many people go through it, and there's no reason why to do it alone, but to do it with a network of support. Those who have gone before you and launched can share their successes and what they found was a jewel that helped them along. And we really go at it from an inquisitive approach. You know, really, what would you want to do if you didn't get paid to do anything? What do you do in your spare time? So that we can try to match that and marry it with what are the demands in the workplace. On the other side, we work with companies to understand what do they see as growth fields, growth roles, and how they can reconfigure roles so that women can participate in a partial way, bringing their valuable skills to the workplace sooner rather than waiting until they're fully able to re-participate in full time.
I think what I really appreciated when I started to really learn about your organization, which, mind you, I won a session from an event from the Women's Business Development Center. Right. And I was saying, when I first spoke to, I call her my coach.
Jen.
Jen. And I know that you have formal names, but I will tell you that she has absolutely changed my life. But when we started talking about kind of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do, and I shared this with you earlier today, I said, we can't be worse off than the individuals that we try to help make their individual pivot of whatever that is. And usually through the workforce investment system where people are out of work and things like that. And I said to myself when I was talking to her, I was like, listen, I've got a job, I'm married, I should have nothing to complain about, and I'm still unfulfilled. And COVID hit, and for 2 years, the way that we worked completely changed. We couldn't be around our families, and I'm a people person. Like, I thrive better by being in a group, and all of that changed. And one of the things she did for me that I know that all your mentors, and please tell me the right title for them, but they help see what we don't see. Yep. So sometimes when we're busy, I'm raising my children. I was sharing with you that I'm caregiving for my mother to an extent, trying to get her services. You put yourself on a back burner. How is it that you're able to help people see themselves in ways that they don't see themselves?
Yeah, well, you're so focused on the best thing for this person, the best thing for your family members, and you put yourself on hold, and we really shift that focus onto you and really focus on what you could bring. And it's important. The world needs your skills. The world needs your passion. You are doing what you wanted to set your vision on, and that's terrific. I'm so excited for you, Carmen.
Oh, I think you're just awesome. Tell me, because I've participated in a lot of the different events, but before we talk about those, how can people get more information about Untapped Potential?
We are always updating our website. Our events are on our website, upotential.org, and we have events really to walk you through the process no matter when you join. We have a vault of information that can start bringing you up to speed, and then we have quarterly events, weekly events, and our biggest events are, semester in the fall semester and the spring.
But you do them every year, and this organization has been helping women for how long?
It's been 7 years. We just had our 7-year mentor mingle, our 7-year anniversary last Thursday, and just this past spring we were awarded the Women-Owned Small Business of the Year.
Congratulations on that. What was the criteria? We're going to cue up a video that we have, but first tell me a little bit about that award and what was the criteria.
Apparently
to even
there
get
was
that?
A lot of competition, and we've worked with Connecticut Small Business Development Council advisor, and she had put us forth for it. So I think it is how we've impacted employment, how we impact we are a social enterprise, so how we impact an organization, but also having employed people and having revenue. So that
I think what I really liked, and we're going to go into the video, but we even have like these informal like little coffee and a call, like let's just check in call at like 8 o'clock when we put our kids to bed.
The me time.
The me time
telecon. Yep.
Absolutely. So we're going to show like a little video because I would love to see what people are saying about Untapped Potential.
I've been incredibly impressed with the candidates that walk in our door to interview from Untapped Potential. The UP candidates that we've hired are incredibly well prepared, have a wealth of experience, and are ready to hit the ground running.
Untapped Potential is creating an opportunity for people to come together who otherwise might not ever connect. And it's like magic watching talent meeting opportunity in the same room.
Untapped Potential provides the right stepping stones for women to achieve work-life success.
I love that. And we ask you to check out the website for information and things like that. So you mentioned, Candice, that you have a cohort coming in the fall. So how can they find out information about that, and what is involved in one of your sessions?
Well, we actually do a return to work challenge, and we also do, we will have our Returners Accelerator. This is the first time we're having this event, but it's really taking our Returners Challenge and putting it in a one-day event. And then our candidates will be prepared for our client candidate speed interview. It's like a speed dating, only it's a speed interview with clients that really want to open the doors and host a returner in a mid-career internship. So that event, really, we call it Return to Work Week for women. And right now there are more jobs in Connecticut particularly than we could absolutely fill. This is a demographic that's not on the job board system. They find the job board system is not gonna let them get to the top of your pile, so they don't even participate. So we really help them work our up profile, which is a little different. It removes the bias that women face if they have a gap for caregiving, and we ask our clients to measure our candidates by their skills and their experience. So that all comes together in each fall.
And in your work, you talk about how do we voice that? Because the skills that you might have earned as being a caregiver definitely applies in the care, the customer service, and all of those things. And I want you to tell me a little bit more about the opportunity to pivot, because you kind of open the door for an employer to meet. So talk a little bit about how they meet the candidate and how that works.
Well, often we have different pivots that we couldn't have even predicted, where a client will come with one certain need and a candidate has another certain experience, and together they're talking and they find something in their background that just clicks, and oh my God, you'd be good at this role at our company. Your friend Jimmy, the family navigator, was a great example of that.
Of something being created by your vision.
Right, and that comes together, and it's from the mix of all parts, getting people in the room that are high caliber professionals. They carry themselves well, they have good interpersonal skills, they have the skills to face client demands as companies are going towards more software as a service. There's a lot of support needed, and they are supportive roles, but I don't want to cut women short from technology. I'm a fan that women can learn technology at any point in their life, and that we actually partner with our second innings to deliver short courses in data analytics, cybersecurity. We've had women even take, SQL and Python, and at any point in your career, twice a year, we try to educate them in these fields, and then we also do our Tech 101, which is really making them feel comfortable in how the office has changed and the office technology. So they come in often knowing more than companies' incumbent employees do, because they've used the same systems all along. We expose them to Slack and Teams and Zoom and all the different technologies within our preparatory process in our program. They're using technology to support other candidates, their peers, and they're using those technology tools. And even with meeting with our mentors and delivering certain things, the mentors give us feedback on what they might need work on to be market ready to engage in the workforce.
I can't tell you how awesome this organization is. We are at a live show. We come in each Tuesday at 6:30. And we do have an opportunity that if folks wanted to call in and ask, I'm going to call you Candice. I try to say Miss Freedenberg all the time, but I love you to pieces, so I feel like we're there. The number is 203-345-0103, and we're going to open up the phone lines in about 5 minutes if people have some questions. And this is a great opportunity, like I mentioned. One of the things that kind of was holding me back and I was really feeling bad about since COVID is that I feel like, I'm not saying like I'm affluent or anything like that, but I have a good support system and all of that, and taking care of your children and even the work that we do takes a toll on you, you know, especially since things changed. I think that one of the things that I have always celebrated about what you do, when you make the pivot connection and when someone's getting, you know, an opportunity to either get into a different field, is that your team actually opens the door. So they're telling them, this is a care, you know, this person has a gap. Like, you're taking away some of the stereotypes that we may not even be able to voice to kind of do that. And you've had great success with that. Are there any companies that you're like, this company really gets it in working with us?
Well, there's definitely a lot. And what I want to say is the women pivot for two different reasons. They pivot to get back to the workforce from doing what we call work in the home, even though it's never in the home, but they are working and we value that work, and they're pivoting to different work. Also, we have many women that come to us that are in a travel role or in a high power role that's 24/7, and they want to scale back to just something that's manageable. They need that intermediary. We're the third party intermediary that says, you know, these companies offer flexibility. They have to have some level of flexibility, even pre-COVID-19. And some candidates are able to do full-time, but they just get no visibility because of the job board system. So we have women that are pivoting just because they don't want to miss their years with their 3-year-old and 5-year-old and can no longer be traveling internationally with their high power role. They want to continue to contribute, but do it in a 30-hour a week or a 40-hour a week job. But really, when we say pivot, it could be, you know, your passion field. Many women want to have purposeful work, and much like the millennials or new age, and they really want to contribute to something that's meaningful, and they pivot to all different things. We have a lot of nonprofits that benefit from our demographic, but the companies that really get it, they value the skills that our demographic is bringing, and they also hire or host a flex return engagement based on the potential of the candidate. They aren't looking at just the checkbox and having, do you have 3 days of ABC program and DEF program, and have you run XYZ yesterday and the day before, but they're looking at, oh, she was in New York City and ran VP of a major financial institution. I'm sure she could add value to our organization. We're going to figure out how. So those, you know, Motor Lease Corporation is a family-owned 70-year-old business, 75-year-old business. We've been with them for the 7 years, and they value the fact that we know our candidates better than a staffing firm. We don't even say that we are a staffing firm, but our network of support, as we work with them, we grow to know how do they deal under pressure? How do they work communicating with the C-suite? Because we often have the C-suite at our events. So we can position people for the right role because we know them well.
And I just think that just speaks volumes, just the fact that so tell me, before I get into that, so I know that you're based out of Hartford, but where are your other locations where everybody needs to go through the website to get information and to sign up? Because I think you have like a newsletter or something, right, that they can get upcoming events and information.
Yep, we have a newsletter that goes out about once a month, and then we also have some event-driven news. We are located in Hartford. We came out of Hartford's Reset Incubator, the social enterprise, and we have expanded during COVID in 2021. We expanded both in New Haven and in Fairfield. So we work out of co-working spaces, and we're at Reset in Hartford, and the district in New Haven, and Haven in Fairfield.
That's amazing. And so there's people that staff those offices, and we talked about my Jen, but what do you call those coaches? I call her a coach, but she's so much more to me than that.
Yeah, we career reentry experts. We also have a named regional growth director. As we grow, we'll bring on, and we really hire our demographic. So we bring on women that have former skills, want to get back to work at their own pace, and we bring them on to launch in those roles largely.
And I've been I participated into your mentor mingles, and I know that some of the women that have been through your program are also your mentors too.
Yes,
so
of
I think
course.
that's amazing.
Yeah, they come back as mentors, and they really know the shoes that the people are in that are coming through them and through our program, and also seeing them get to a point of success is so valuable for our candidates. And one of our mentor mingles is the Lift Each Other Up, where we have a panel with women at different points in the opt-out, opt-in continuum. And I am, Carmen, changing that word, because opt-out really doesn't signify what women did. And through COVID, we know many women were forced out because the school systems closed, the daycares closed, and
companies closed. Those
women that were career professionals had the support system wiped out from under them. And yes, it was both spouses that were impacted by that, but the data shows that women are returning less and women were impacted greater. And really, even though during COVID we could say they were forced out of the workforce, I think many of the women that I speak to, when we do that initial inquiry, they almost apologize for the fact that they couldn't fulfill their career and wear a superhuman cape being the mom. And really, it's society's structure that doesn't let them do that. No one, goes through their college career and launches in great internships and great companies and then says, I'd rather do nothing.
Yeah.
They really would like some mix of their, professional acumen, keeping their career going, but society didn't allow for it. And now with COVID, now there is some flexibility, there is more opportunity for women really to have a blend of their family life and supporting their family's growth and their career professionally. And what we ask women to do is just dip your toes back into it. Attend a mentor mingle and put on your professional self and meet our mentors, and you'll get the support, and slowly you'll say, okay, this career's for me and this is what I want to go back to.
And I think it's the practice, right? So for me, I remember that you put us, it was virtual, the one that actually I've attended more than one, but they put you in different rooms and then you shift us. So we get the opportunity to say it again to somebody else. I will tell you, like by the fourth time, you're like, this is what I want to do. These are my hours.
You own it. You own it.
Yes. And it's the practice of, and plus Jen would like coach me before I went on, because she's like, you do 30 different things. How do you want to figure out what's going to be your next thing? And I think the great thing for me was about that I could try them all, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Some of those you make some money on, some you don't, but you find what it is, and the one that sticks, we figure out how do we make money doing that. Right. And I will tell you, I was really struggling with the way COVID had impacted my job, that I really needed to talk to somebody. So our phones are ringing, Candice, so we've got a caller. Welcome to Connecticut at your service. Do you have a question for Miss Candice?
Hi, yes. First, I just wanted to say that your organization is awesome. I was just wondering if you had something like a statement or a quote that kind of like moves you along in your process of kind of like re-entering and starting this organization. It's awesome.
Well, interesting. A quote that we use often is more from the technology side and with women's career, everything is figure-outable. That's one quote that keeps us going. We're going to figure this out and we're going to make it work. And so, often we have a candidate that is struggling to get, what her elevator pitch is, what she wants to narrow down to. And we say, try something on, and everything is figure-outable. So I appreciate your call, and that might be one you take. And then we often reflect on, because I'm an engineer, Newton's law, and I hope I get this right, but I've said it over and over. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion. And you see those women that are, raising 4 kids, and they stayed in the workplace, and you wonder how they could do it. And we want to take women that have opted out and get them in motion. So what we try to do is reduce the friction that they face so that the ball can roll down the hill. And our best candidates are those that feel like, I didn't do anything. It just happened. I got the job. I know what I found my career.
How that happened. I wonder who helped me along and saw my untapped potential.
So it's reducing the friction and really making you feel good about the process.
Thank you. Did you have another question, or was that it for today?
That was all. Thank you so much.
Listen, thank you for calling, and keep watching.
Bye.
Bye. How awesome was that? Before we get another call, because I anticipate another call because you're just that great, could you give us some tips? What might be some tips for people, for women that are like second guessing themselves? What are your top two?
Oh gosh, well, I mean that second guessing and that imposter syndrome, I'll say one, surround yourself with people that are going through what you're going through. Whether it's our On Top Potential team or other moms that might be ready to explore the same thing. Because you need that camaraderie in whatever stage of life you are in. And if you are with friends that say, why do you want to go back to work? Don't go back to work. You know, maybe it's going to fulfill something in you. Maybe you don't need to, but you want to. And we often ask those questions. What are the drivers for you going back to work? But I think surrounding yourself with people that are going through the same thing as you is very helpful.
Believe in you.
Yep, and that knowing yourself. So, you know, we have a lot of things to brainstorm what you're good at, what you spend your time on, things like that. So you start to know yourself and what your passion is and what you want to bring to the workplace. The worst thing, you know, could be that you feel like you are trapped in having to go back to what you used to do, and you really don't, and you need to explore and develop that passion and what you want to bring forward.
So if people wanted to contact you or find out more about Untapped Potential, how might they do that?
Definitely go to our website, upotential.org, and we definitely want you to register for our newsletter. We'll start communicating with you and get you the right steps to get going. And we have had people that have launched in virtual roles and in you know, hybrid and go to, you know, full in-office roles. And I think now is there's not a better time than now to go back to your potential.
And even more so to call your own shots.
Yes.
You know, when I was thinking about, do I need to do something different? You know, we even went down. I remember talking with Jen and say, how much do you need to earn? Really looking at things from a different angle. I think that it's just volumes for me. And I thank you so much for your organization. Any final last word?
Well, thank you, Carmen, for having me, and really just want to support women to get to their caliber. We do this so we impact gender equity in the workplace. We know companies need more women in senior roles, and we really feel like our demographic is the fastest path to get there.
I think that is amazing. So Candice, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for sharing who you are and the work that you're doing to impact women and help us see ourselves in a way that we don't see ourselves. Because sometimes there's just so much doubt. But we want to make sure that you guys are tuning in, because just like Candice, this week we have individuals that come to share about their work, about themselves, how they lead, and all the things that they do to make a difference in our community. We ask you, so today, as we close off the show, I want to thank Candice, our guest. I want to thank the crew, the team, everyone here at Soundview Community TV Media. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on social media.